Welcome back to Bullet Basics. Today we're talking all about bullet setback. What is it and how does it happen and how to prevent it? Before we do that, we're going to send over to Norm, and he's got a couple of things for us. He said it's some good stuff, so I'm excited. Here we go. Okay, go with me on this one. I was thinking, if we ask them to like all our videos now, then they'll see all of the new videos we put out later, and then they'll watch them. Do you mean subscribe, so that then when we post a new video, they see it come out? Yep, I meant that. Thanks for giving it a try, Norm. Keep working on that. Let's get into our video. Okay, let's talk about bullet setback. What is it, and how does it happen, and how do we prevent it? Well, first of all, let's look at it. We have a couple of rounds of ammo here, and let's see if you can see that. Let's see if we can get it to zoom right in on that. So as you can see, it's all about the actual bullet walking back into the cartridge. And so really I should define, and we should talk about the fact that this really only happens to ammo that you carry for a while, right? If you're just going to the range and you've got a bunch of ammo and you're going to shoot through a bunch of ammo, there's really no chance of bullet setback happening because you're really only using the ammo once. And so it happens really only in guns that have some sort of feed ramp, right? So guns that there's a magazine that's inserted to the gun. When the slide drops, it pulls a round off of the magazine and goes up into the chamber, right? And what is happening every time that the round is stripped off, it hits that feed ramp, feeds up into the chamber. I mean, microscopic amounts of bullet setback is happening. A lot of times not even measurable. And so, but that's the idea, is that this round, and if you do it over and over again, the round just continues to hit that feed ramp and go up into the chamber over and over and over again. And that's what causes the bullet to walk back. Well, there's a lot of problems, or several problems that occur if you do this over and over again. One of those problems being that you could have a bunch more pressure in there, right? Because the bullet is now further back, there's still the same explosion, still the same amount of powder in there, and now there's more pressure, which could cause catastrophic failures theoretically in the gun, because the gun is only rated to, handle so much pressure. And so this is obviously more of a danger in, I would say, in certain guns than others. Some calibers just aren't as powerful, aren't as worrisome. But it's still something that can be very dangerous and something that you want to avoid if at all possible. Obviously, there's other problems other than just that catastrophic failure of the gun that can happen, and one of those being malfunctions. You could have malfunctions happen because one of the things that can happen as well is not just that it can walk into the cartridge, is that the bullet can cant one way or the other, which can cause problems, right, with reliability. As well as, think about this, so if we have a gun and you're always concealed carrying it in a downward fashion and you're constantly chambering around, well, the round not only can get pushed in, but it can also technically walk out as well, because when it's hitting that feed ramp, it's really loosening, and so the bullet can walk out, especially if you're walking around and your gun's pointed down, right? And so that can cause that to happen. And so that can cause issues. Obviously, there can also be, let's see if we have any here, a little bit, but not really. There can be distortion of the rim and it can start to wear down. That's a lot less common, but it's possible. It's theoretically possible. And so all of that happens because the round is being chambered and extracted extracted over and over again, because when you want to go actually shoot the gun and train with it, you're taking out your carry ammo and you're putting in practice ammo, right? And so there's a round in the chamber when you're carrying it all over the place, and then you extract it out, and then you go put it off to the side, you take all the rounds out of the magazine, you fill it up with some stuff you're going to use, and then once you're done, you do it all over again. You chamber a round, drop that hammer, and you do it again, right? And so if you don't switch out your carry ammo very often, it can have those kinds of issues. And so as I mentioned before, it's really only ones that have a feed ramp, and so a lot of semi-automatic pistols have this issue, and specifically other ones like AR-15s as well, where it's stripped off a magazine, goes up a feed ramp and into the chamber. Now, There are obviously some ways to avoid that, the most obvious of which is to just switch out your carry ammo every once in a while, right? I actually called, I'll do another video on that, but I actually called a bunch of manufacturers and asked them, how often should you switch out your carry ammo? And a lot of them said, the majority of them said every 6 months to a year. It shouldn't go much longer than a year if you're carrying it regularly, especially if you're rechambering the rounds. And so that's something to keep in mind, and something to look at is that just switch it out, right? Shoot it through the gun after a few months. That way you can see that it works in your gun functions with it, your gun likes it and can eat it up, but also so that you know that you have fresh ammo, that you don't have to worry about it. Let's see. Okay, so another way to avoid it would be to just chamber the round by hand. And what I mean by that is you take your gun, you lock the slide open, and then you take the round and you just drop it into the chamber. And once you do that, you can drop the slide and now you're ready to go. That would be one of the best ways to do it, because then you're not constantly rechambering the round as far as sending it up that feed ramp, which is what causes the problem. So you can just throw it in there, drop the slide, and then you're good to go. Another way to do it would just be, say, hey, don't unload the gun if at all possible. Now most of us, like we get home, we want to unload, make sure the gun's safe, and that way we don't have to worry about it. Well, if at all possible you can avoid that, you can just put it into a safe or put it somewhere where nothing's going to happen to it, it's not going to be dangerous to anybody. That would obviously be the easiest way, because then the rounds never come out of the gun, and that makes it a lot more efficient. The last way that I would say, the last major tip that I would have, is if you had a round, let's say this round was chambered last time, you could take that round, and once you unload to go to the range or whatever and you come back, you just make sure that round is on the bottom of the magazine and you use a brand new round, also obviously just dropping it in the chamber. But that way you never have the same round going into the chamber all the time. It's always a different one, and that can extend the life of your carry ammo as well. Bullet setback it's a big thing. It's something to worry about. Now let's talk realistic. There have been tests that have been done out there. We've actually done a test too, and you can see the video. We'll link it in the description below, or we'll link it up there. I mean, where people in these videos, people have chambered around dozens and dozens and dozens of times, and there's very, very little or no bullet setback that happens at all. And so you just have to use your judgment on this, right? Does it make sense for you to switch out your ammo every week? Probably not. You're not going to chamber it that much. Does it make sense to switch it out every month? Probably not still. Every few months, every quarter, every 6 months, every year, that's when you're getting to the point where the round's been chambered a bunch of times, or at least you've had it, right? And it's been up against your skin and you've sweat on it maybe, and it causes the ammo to deteriorate. But as far as that's concerned, there's really, you really just got to judge that yourself. They're really probably not something to worry about, generally speaking, especially if you switch it out every year, I would say. But it's something that you're going to have to deal with and worry about, because, I mean, most of us on YouTube here aren't scientists, and so we don't know exactly how much one fraction of a tiny fraction of a centimeter is going to make as far as damage to the gun, but it's something you need to think about. And so change out your ammo. If you notice, inspect your ammo. That would be another thing, is to inspect the ammo. If you see, and if you can visually see that one round is shorter than another, that would be a big indication to not use that round and get new ammo, right? And so shooting the ammo through the gun would be a great idea. So other than that, we really appreciate all of you that have subscribed. Those of you that haven't, we would love your subscriptions. We hope we've earned it today. If not, other than that, bury the trolls down in the comments like we always say, and we will see you next time.